Until early last year, Cut Off Your Hands were known as the Shaky Hands. However, like another fantastic New Zealand band, Shehad, aka Pacifier Shehad, they had to change their names, but for a different reason. There was another band in Portland, Oregon, known with the same name, the Shaky Hands. But now, Cut Off Your Hands, the name change hasn't done them any harm at all. And today on NZown, we're talking to Nick and Phil from Cut Off Your Hands. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
We're in York Street Studios at the moment, which is quite a fitting surrounding, really, considering you guys are about to release your debut album, but you didn't record it here.
No, it's our first time here.
We recorded in London with a guy called Bernard Butler,
Yep.
and it was in a much tinier studio than this, so this is pretty nice. But it was in a studio owned by this guy called Edwin Collins, and he had a big hit in the 90s called Never Met a Girl Like You Before, and it pretty much paid for all his equipment.
It's not paid for this studio that we recorded in.
Awesome. And Bernard Butler, he's a man with like a very long list of credentials, like as long as my arm, like, you know, of course, Suede, more recently Black Kids and Duffy. So,
Duffy,
you know, for you guys, that must be a real awesome
Well, like the first week that we were in recording for the record, Duffy went to #1, and so his career's kind of really was just picking up in terms of like he's been the guy who's just done singles, like he did the Libertines single, and then he did this and that, and then just in the last year he's just kind of picked up. So it's pretty rad to be associated with that, and it's good.
And so the sort of finished product with the album You and I, is the name of the album, like he's worked on every single one of those songs?
No, not the fourth track.
Okay.
So,
which was done by Stephen Street, who recorded a lot of the Blur albums and some Smith records.
Pretty awesome people to be working with.
Well, we had this time when we were just after we signed our record deal in the UK, where they were trying to get us to work with all these amazingly expensive guys, and Stephen Street was one of them, who was rad. Also guys like Flood, and we'd worked with Bernard in our own capacity, and we just wanted to do the record with him because he got us as a band more. So it's great.
And he's well known for his, his love of the whole sort of Phil Spector wall of sound, kind of style of engineering. I think that's really apparent in the song As Can Be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's something that we, particularly a producer that we were thinking about a lot when we were making the record was, obviously the stuff he'd done with the Ronettes and the Crystals, all that Phil Spector stuff, and Bernard was totally on the same wavelength, so it was quite a natural progression that, the songs like that came out that way.
So you sort of had that, in your mind that you wanted that kind of sound?
Yeah.
So finished product, you happy with it?
Yeah, we're stoked with it. Yeah, it's great. It's completely different to what we've done in our previous 2 EPs, and that's just because it's a record, and so it's like it listens like an album, and the EPs were just collections of songs. So I think people would probably be a bit surprised at some of the choices of songs in there, but it just creates much more of a listenable product rather than just this attempt at like a hit record or whatever.
Now, the single, the most recent single we've got, Expectations, is a reworking of one which was on your previous EP, on your first EP. Do you think that the way that this version of the song, the Bernard Butler version of the song, is much different to the original?
Yeah, we like it a lot more, but it's always interesting like hearing people say that they like the original better, which was just us recording it in our lounge by ourselves pretty much.
Yeah.
And so like it's a lot more, sonically broader and
Just slowed down a little bit.
But it's still got that energy, like obviously like in a lounge we're like just recording it ourselves, and so it was very energetic and stuff like that, but I think it still captured that, the new recording, and there's a lot more interesting things going on with the guitars, and then
and I didn't sing it with a crappy British accent. No, I like it way more. I think it's way better. It's more energetic, it's way more ferocious. It might be a little slower, but it just sounds like it's got a lot more melody in it now for some reason.
The bridge is more interesting as well.
I suppose you can always improve on something, which is great.
I don't know, we've tried recording a few songs a couple of times and it didn't work at all. Yeah, we had to scrap the songs, but
we just thought it was a song that hadn't quite reached. It was a really good song which we needed to do properly, and there weren't many old songs that we did for this record, but that was the only one from the first EP that we did. We just wanted to give it a proper chance.
It's an energy that comes across in the video, the third video. The third time lucky with the most recent video, like you guys are in a club or something. And,
yeah. It's like a house. The idea is a house party. And,
it's in a warehouse in, where is it?
Sisters, which is like northeast London.
Okay.
At a place where they have house parties, and we go to them. And
yeah, we went to a house party 2 weeks after filming that video in that same place, and it was almost deja vu. It was just crazy.
Because we had all our friends come down, like the Sneaks were in the video.
Oh, awesome! I didn't even see
Straight from the Whipping Cats is in the video as well. And they're all dancing around like...
If you pause it at like 23 seconds or something, you can see James knocking over the microphone.
You see Martin quite well. Like he's in the corner pretending to be drunk or something like that.
It's all our friends just hanging out.
It must be really interesting, like, being over in London, and there has been, a mass exodus of New Zealand bands kind of, over there and many other places around the world. But do you feel that you are in a better position now, where you are not being based in New Zealand?
Yeah, I think so. It's just easier to be where a lot more music is going on, and to be part of something that's current rather than always following it. I think that's the thing you feel like sometimes when you're this far away from everything like we did. We're always the last to hear about things, and whereas now we seem to be a lot more. We've got that confidence that we are starting something rather than following it. I think that's pretty much the main difference.
And how are audiences receiving you over in Europe, especially?
Yeah, good. Really, we're only starting now to release the singles off the record. Like Expectations is being released on Monday, I think. And so that'll be the first proper release we've got over there. But in saying that, we've been doing a lot of touring and people seem to be getting into it, so it's cool.
Now, the album is called You and I, and we've got singles Expectations, Still Fond, Happy As Can Be. There's a bit of a love theme kind of prevalent in all of those singles. Is that followed through on the entire album?
Yeah, it's not necessarily. There's a range of themes and stuff. It's all written from like a first-person narrative, so that's hence like the title, and it was also the title of one of our first singles ever, which isn't on the record, but we wanted to put it anyway. Document that. But yeah, it's just all things from basically representing where I am as a young person, and whether that be relationships, romantically, or friends or family, or stories from our childhood and stuff. It's all about me and other like first person relationships, I guess.
Now, the albums are going to be released here in New Zealand on October the 6th.
Yep.
And you're going to be coming back at some stage, maybe a little bit later on in the year for a further tour.
We're hoping November.
Cool.
Yeah, something like that. I think we finish a tour mid to late October in the UK, and then try to get back straight after that.
Yeah. Exciting. It's exciting for us, I guess. Do you have any idea of how many dates you might be doing?
Hopefully, like a full tour, getting all the way down to Dunedin and everything. So, but yeah, who knows? It's all.
We only live like 3 weeks in advance at the moment.
Well, look, we can't wait for the album to be released. It's called You and I. And if people want to, maybe any of your fans want to get in touch with you or hear any of the songs from the album, how can they do that?
MySpace. We check out MySpace often, so you can contact that way.
What's the address?
.com/cut off your hands. So myspace.com.
It's nice and easy to remember. Yeah. We look forward to the album dropping on October the 6th. You and I, Cut Off Your Hands. Thank you so much for joining me today on NZown, and we're going to check out your latest video. This is Expectations, version number 3.